right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call Laimla, Alahaina, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Harakakarash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who will teach well, and a hearty Shalom to the elect. And Tawadi, how about Shema Shai for allowing me to do this lesson, okay? And I'm going to talk about temptations, all right? When, like the scripture says in Sirach, let me just get it. This Sirach 2:1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, all right? We're going to be tempted with a lot of things, okay? All right? And one of the most important things for you to be aware of that we're going to be tempted with is that mark of the beast, okay? That MOTB, that RFID microchip, okay? That temptation is going to try or prove you to see if you are really in the faith, okay? All right? I looked up the word temptation in my Bible dictionary, and it says to prove, try, a trial, temptation, to try, prove. These words have a sinister connotation in present day usage, which has not always attached to them. It says originally the words were neutral content with the sense of putting to the proof, the testing of character or quality. Thus Yahweh is tempted by Israel's distrust of him as if the people were actually challenging him to show his perfections. All right, so putting to the proof the testing of character or quality. And that's what's going to happen, man. Our character and our quality, or the quality of our character, okay, is going to be proven or tested. And one of the things that is going to, one of the temptational situations that's going to try our character, okay, is this MOTB. Okay, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, okay, in regards to world affairs. World War III is going to be going on. A lot of stuff is going to be going on, and the implementation of that MOTB, that's going to be going on. But we cannot be persuaded to take it. That's the whole point. Don't be persuaded to take it. All right, the Lord, how about Shema Shai, is going to be there with you. All right, as I'm going to finish, I'm going to continue to get in Sirach. All right, but this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, for the word of power, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. All right. The temptation is going to come from, in one instance, that MOTB. All right. And with that MOTB being at the forefront of the world's temptation, all right, because it says in Revelations that he's going to have, everybody tried, basically. The rich and poor, the free and the bond, all right? They're all going to be tried by I'm going to say receiving the MOTB or not, okay? But for those that do become tried by taking the MOTB, all right, or tried into taking that MOTB, the Lord's going to be with you, man, okay? Where was I at? And for those that deny taking that MOTB, you could be, possibly be put to death, and you cannot be afraid of that, okay? This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. And making haste in the time of trouble in regards to the temptation of the MOTB would be taking the MOTB, all right? We are, commanded to trust in the Lord by the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, we are commanded to trust in the Lord, and even in the scriptures, the Lord commands us to trust in Him. Okay, so at the time of our temptation, all right, we need to be in a mindset of, I know the Lord's going to deliver me. I know Yahweh Shema Shai is going to take care of me. I know the Lord's going to deliver me, because it's all about how you talk to yourself. All right, your mind controls everything. Like what I mean by that is, if you think something, you get up and do it. All right, you get up and act on it. But here, myself, I believe that the Lord's going to deliver me in any temptation and trouble that I get in. So I have to think and talk to myself in that same manner. Okay, that's an example of setting your heart aright. Verse 3, it says, "Cleave unto Him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." And our last end, okay, is when we gonna be in the kingdom, man. All right, you want to go through everything to make your calling and election sure. All right, and then within that, you got to give diligence, and giving diligence, it goes into, making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. In this case, in the case of temptation, like I had said with myself, talking to myself, meditating on, the word of the Lord, things of that nature. Okay. And at the last end, we're gonna be in the kingdom. You're gonna be up there in the chariots with the Lord, having a meal at the marriage supper. Okay. You're gonna be with the Lord. That's the last end, man. So we gotta trust in Him, cleave unto Him. All right. It says, "Whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." And who knows what's going to be brought upon us here in the future, as we see, America just circling the drain, Trump and these tariffs, and the stock market going down. The dollar's probably going to crash sooner rather than later, which is cool. But once that dollar crashes, guess what? The MOTB is going to come into effect and play. Okay. It says here, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." So I looked up some stuff about gold and the fire. It says here, where did it go? All right. This is just what Google said. A phrase, "gold in the fire," is a metaphor primarily used in a Christian context to represent the refining process of faith and character through trials and hardships. And trials and hardships is what is going to build up your faith. Okay, all right. Because when you go through something, if you know and believe and understand that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is in control, and He put you into something, and it goes well for you or it goes bad for you, if it goes well for you or it goes bad for you, either or, the outcome is going to either build up your faith or take away your faith. Okay, especially if it doesn't go in your outcome and you have a negative mindset. But if you have a positive mindset, and the situation, whatever you go, if it works out for you, you can look at that situation and be like, hey, dang, the Lord put me through this and He showed me that He was with me. All right. You could think of some situations in your life where, where you may have thought it wouldn't have, turned out good for you or turned out well for you. And ultimately it ended up turning out well for you. All right. Whatever those trials and tribulations were, whatever that test was, all that test did was increase your faith in the Lord, because at the end of the day, you believe more in the Lord now because He brought you through something. All right. It says, here's more detailed explanation. The phrase is rooted in 1 Peter 1:7, which states, "So that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than fine gold that perishes through it, is though it is tested by fire, may be found and result to praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Yahushua Mashiach." The image of gold in the fire resembles the trials and tribulations that believers face, which are seen as opportunities for spiritual growth and purification. So that's how you got to look at these trials and tribulations that you may go through. All right. opportunities, okay, for spiritual growth and purification. All right. Verse 6, it says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. So within these last three verses I just read, 7 to 8 and 9, they tell you how to set your heart aright. They tell you to wait for the Lord. Verse 7 says, wait for his mercy. All right. Verse 8, it says, believe in him. All right. And verse 9, it says, hope for good. Those are characteristics on how to set your mind right. Okay. Get your heart right. It says, look at the generations of old and see did ever any trust in Yahweh and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And we have the true names of the Son, the Father and the Son, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So we can call on those names in our times and afflictions and troubles, all right, and we can be delivered. Psalms 50 and 15, the Lord says, call upon me in the day of our trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Well, in the times of our temptation, especially when it comes to this MOTB, all right, we need to be calling on the Lord. Yahweh Shem Shai. We need to be praying to the Lord and thanking the Lord, for everything, for anything, for all the things, especially giving us this truth in his name and his Son's name, and all the opportunities that he has put in front of us and we have taken advantage of, But just in the times of temptation, trust in the Lord, Yahweh Shai trusted in Yahweh, okay? And we are to trust in both Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, okay? All right? The temptation is brought on by Yahweh Shai, okay? And the Lord is going to lead you through that temptation to increase your spiritual, your belief in him, all right? And like it said, to purify you, okay? So just trust in the Lord when you're going through any form of temptation, all right? And when it's time for that temptation of the MOTB, Lord will we be built up enough to endure whatever trials and tribulations come behind that, okay? From us not accepting it, all right? Lord will you was edified, trust in the Lord. Till the next time, shalom.